What do you think? I guess the assumption is as far as like high school linemen. I'm not sure. How many recruits could they do? Is their mindset? I know my mindset was like, man, I'm coming in and starting as a freshman. Do you hear a lot of guys thinking like, oh, I could come to Nebraska, regardless of who the coach is, and make an impact just based on what they've seen from some of the past year's offensive line play?
Lineman is different though, like because you look at Prohaska, he started as a true freshman. Corcoran started as a true freshman, at least a couple of games. But is that a good thing? I mean, are you rolling the dice, putting a true freshman on the field in the Big Ten? Now, at the same time, most of these guys are great getting there in January, so you get them for a spring to develop a little earlier.
Right.
But it is a complete roll of the dice. You would really like your program to be not in a position to have to play freshmen anywhere, unless it's an elite guy like A.J. Allen that, you're like, we got to play. We can figure this out.
Yeah.
But there aren't a lot of, I'd be curious just in the Big Ten West, like how many true freshmen are playing before A.J. Allen got hurt, even played at the level of snaps A.J. Allen played. I mean, it's rare in this conference because it is a grown man's division. I mean, Iowa and Wisconsin and Minnesota. I mean, shoot, Tanner Morgan is 32 and 11 or something as a quarterback.
Right.
And he's played there since 2017.
Yeah.
And so you're talking about a league of guys of that age and putting a high school kid in, it's a big jump.
But hadn't that been kind of the identifier for Nebraska that you've got to give Hausman 80 snaps in any game? You're putting yourself at a real tough spot. A.J. Allen getting to work before his injury. Isn't that kind of an identifier that the program needs to elevate its level of talent?
Yeah, no question. I mean, you look at the inside linebacker, and Jay could speak on this too. I mean, they brought in a lot of young guys, and they've kind of struck out, or guys have gotten hurt. Reimer is a walk-on, and they hit. He was a surprise how fast he rose, and they played him. Henrich is what they thought. They thought he'd be an early player in his career. Snodgrass has been hurt his whole time at Nebraska. Clements is undersized. He's got good instinct, but he's undersized. So you look at that group, and then they had that kid Keyshawn Green.
Yeah, he left.
He left.
Yeah.
And the guy from New Jersey, I've never heard his name once. I've already blanked on what his name is, the young freshman. Seth Malcolm's not been a factor.
Now, what do you attribute that to? Is that the boomer bust kind of recruitment, or is it
identification?
Just allowing the process of development to go? Like Seth Malcolm, he played 8-man in Iowa, right?
Right.
Kind of a good athlete, but a project. So he would be like a third, fourth year guy that you expect something from. Some other guys, I think maybe needed some more size, but like how do you get to this point? Because wouldn't you strategically always try to offset a boomer bust with a kind of a known one like you can count on? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To make sure you always cover your bases.
They needed just an elite talent there. And I thought Keyshawn Green was going to be that kind of guy. I mean, he was an Army All-American, top dude in Florida. And I don't even know if he's playing football anymore right now. So you've got to – they just have not been able to get that kind of linebacker in the middle. They had one on the edge last year in JoJo, who's on a 53 right now. But they haven't had that type of player because the injuries too. Reimer has battled injury after injury. Henrich has battled injury after injury. And I think that's affected their development as well.
Sure.
Because when your growing is hurt all year, or your hamstring or your wrist or your hand, I mean,
there's only so much you can do.
Yeah, it's just you're limiting the talent of those guys, and it's been tough because that is a critical position in that defense where those guys need to both be over 100 tackles on the season.